What's something I wish I knew when I was starting out? Oh gosh, I don't know.
I always have my viewfinder, and I work with just a small viewfinder, and there's been days where I've left it in the hotel room or whatever, and I feel like I'm missing an arm, quite frankly. I feel like I can't even function.
Myself, my sanity. I don't really need anything. Everything that needs to be there will be there.
The one thing that I always have to have when I arrive on set is coffee.
My coffee and then my sports page, that I always keep in my back pocket. But having the sports page and in between just looking at stats was sort of like a calming exercise for me. So
I think I always need sugar when I'm on set because, I don't drink coffee and I don't smoke cigarettes. So when you spend 12 hours on the set, you just need something that would, cheer you up. So I just always, my assistant, they always know that I need Kinder Bueno when I'm getting, nervous or distracted. So
my wits. No, always got to have my light meter. Always got to have my color temperature meter. Color temperature's become an elusive thing now with the varied LED technology.
Well, every time I arrive on set, I make sure to have a black t-shirt on. That's crucial. As a cinematographer, I try not to be reflected on anything. I try to control the light as much as possible. If I have a white shirt, I'm trying to block the white reflection from the light meter. When it's black, there's no problem.
Guitar. That's a straight answer. The guys at the back of the truck, they always have my acoustic guitar, electric guitar, and an amp. And that's the most important thing. And my family.
A positive attitude. I like to say hello to my crew and my team and just give them, a good vibe to start the day on the right foot.
I wake up. At my age, I probably can sometimes give young filmmakers advice. And I say, of course you want to be an artist, but you have to wake up on time first. You have to wake up and you have to be there. You have to show your presence and your enthusiasm and then you can be an artist. When the actors and the lights are on and you can finally exercise your artistry, then you're an artist. But before that, you're a craftsman somehow. You just have to show up and deliver.
Waking up way too early because I know it's going to be the only time of the day that I have by myself. Quiet. I have a little ritual where I make myself some tea, breakfast, I read a little bit. I'll do a meditation in bed before I get up also. So I need a good couple of hours, for that.
It's very important that really I understand the story in his head before I start looking at the technicalities of how he produce a visual language.
I start early, prep, trying to pick lenses. If I pick lenses, the camera, doesn't matter as much. But lenses is my main thing, so I go in very early. Just me, and go into a room and ask, can I try this and this and this, and what else do you suggest? Loads. And I spend a day just having a little bit of time trying to pick something that's interesting, let's explore this more, and then go back a few more times.
I've been fortunate enough to work with amazing ADs, and we have a great relationship. So I'm very communicative about when I'm gonna be ready, and I have a good sense of time and great crew. I plan out kind of my time very efficiently, and I think, I have certain tasks I need to execute, but I just know when I'm ready because of if the lighting's right, if the camera's in the right place. But I think it's time management, but also knowing what you need to get there. And I feel like I'm pretty efficient in that.
I guess you get to a point, this would be more for the DOPs, that they're just okay, no, we're ready. You never get it perfect, I wouldn't say, because you do always just need to shoot because there's many shots to do. So you get it to the point where it's ready, not where it's good enough even, but you just know, okay, yeah, this is ready, and then you can shoot. There's one of the DOPs who's worked on the Crown, Stuart Howell, and one of the runners might come up and ask how he's doing and say, "Are you good?" And he would say, "I'm not good, but I am ready."